time, sir.
Okay, if we can give him 5 minutes.
Okay, that works for
I'll
me.
give you 5 minutes. Yeah, we'll give him 5
Yes,
minutes.
sir.
Do you guys need a cold water or anything?
That would be nice.
I think I brought mine. Grab mine up here.
Did you also need one?
No, I'm good, sir. I just have mine right here. All right, how can I mute this thing so I don't be giving away secrets? Yeah, is there a mute button somewhere?
Oh, he's a mute guy.
Yeah, I don't want to be a hot mic kind of thing where I say something and anything else. Right, you see what I'm saying? End up on the news and like that. Russian kind of definitely said something like that. You got boys. She likes to talk.
I do. I'm gonna try to stay on topic because I can run. If you see me going to the right, put me on that. Just because, I mean, it's not really a lot that you can just sum up when as it relates to safety. I mean, we can be here all day talking about things that we all could do better. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
What you have for breakfast?
2 pieces of toast, 3 eggs, some tea.
Y'all ain't doing this again tomorrow.
Man, I know where to come for breakfast.
No, is this a daily thing or is this something you just do on Saturday?
I eat breakfast every morning. I've been doing it since I was 12 when my grandmama stopped getting up and taking my breakfast. I had to cook it for myself and then with the children, the little children in the nursery. So I had to kind of get in the habit of doing it. Never stopped. 65 years old, I'm still doing it.
We're getting ready for the pollen and all these allergies that are going to hit. I tell you. That's the beauty of being so. Well,
I said, take it like a vitamin.
that's very good. Mine's I get itchy eyes when it starts. Yeah. So I think it was last year. I won a call and mine just got worse. My eyes were red because I kept itching and itching and itching. I didn't bring my eyes dropping me at work, so my eyes were red. And I went to this lady's house. She kept looking at my eyes. She said, "You okay, deputy?" Seems that
Look, do you need help? Sir, you didn't help me, but do you
my
need
eyes
help?
were way too red. What you been doing? I was like, "No, man, it's just allergies."
Good morning.
Washington. All right. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. My name is Master Deputy Washington, and this is my partner.
Okay. I'll let you say a little bit more about yourself.
Okay. I've been with Richland County for about 5 years. Thank you. I started as a school resource officer. Recently, when my daughter graduated high school, I transitioned to the community action team. So I'm on the CAT team. And what the CAT team does is we are like a liaison between the community and the sheriff's department. So we address complaints. I mean, it could be about anything. This house doesn't look right. There's a lot of activity. Could you, maybe ride by a little bit more, show a little bit more police presence. I have about 14 different communities. I'm in Region 3, which is the North Main, Fairfield Road area. So that's a little bit about myself. Before I came to the Sheriff's Department, I left as a sergeant. I was at Department of Corrections for about 9 years. And so security has always been like a way of life for me. It's just how I'm wired, how I'm programmed. So doing things like this, I really enjoy because I have a wealth of knowledge in these areas. So thank y'all for having me.
All right. I'm Master Deputy Thomas Brown. Been with the department going on 10 years now. Started as a road patrol officer, then the sheriff brought me to the CAT team. And on the CAT team the CAT team is like a diverse group of people because Richland County have a diverse population. We do have Hispanics, we got the Arabs, the Muslims, we got Africans, we got Indians, we got like people from all over. So on the CAT team, there's a representative for each community. I'm a liaison between the African community and the Sheriff's Department. I'm originally from Liberia, West Africa. I'm a hostage negotiator with our SWAT team, and still serving the Army Reserves, been deployed before, and that's all about me.
Igbo?
Hmm? Do I vote?
Igbo.
Igbo?
Are you Igbo?
Oh, no, from Nigeria. No, I'm not from Nigeria. I'm from Liberia.
Liberia?
Yes, sir.
Liberia,
Yeah, and I speak French. I'm fluent in French as well. There's a lot of French-speaking African communities in Richland County, so I'm that person that liaison between that community and the Sheriff's Department. So today we're going to talk about personal safety. But before she starts, I'm going to ask you a question. Everyone that came in, besides those who are already here, those that came in, did you notice anything out of the ordinary when you walked through here? Don't look back. Don't
Nope.
look back.
Can't
Don't
look
look back. Nope. Nothing? Nothing? Don't look back.
Don't cheat. Don't cheat yourself now. Don't cheat.
No one noticed anything out of ordinary? Okay. Personal safety. I'll show you.
Now y'all can turn around.
Now you can turn around.
I want y'all to notice something. You missed it.
See that cup right there? Was it there when you walk in? Nope. The cup right here, was it here? Nope. Everybody walk right here. Look here. And no one saw that.
So who said Chick-fil-A and didn't notice that firearm right there next to the Chick-fil-A bag?
It was sitting right there. But hey, by the way, this is fake.
It is fake.
So, personal safety. Go ahead.
But being vigilant is very important. And we're all guilty of just having that tunnel vision. We're trying to get somewhere and we're not really being aware of things that are around us. Most of the time when we're leaving the house, we got the kids are a distraction, we got our phone, we're on the phone, we're not paying attention. And unfortunately, these days, that is what's making us a target. We're not paying attention. We're so distracted. So, it's okay sometimes to be like, let me call you back, I'm about to go in the grocery store. That way you can be in and out because, when you're on the phone with somebody, you're losing, you're losing that focus. But there was a whole firearm that was back here that could have been a bad situation on a regular day. But as far as this congregation, without turning around, where are your exits? Okay, so we got to, just clarifying, we got to exit here, 2, we got 1 here and here. Those are the only exits. What about these windows? What about these windows? It can become an exit, right? So I was on my phone because I was trying to find what am I doing? I was trying to find a nightclub, um, but apparently there's more than one. There was a nightclub fire, and a lot of people died. Hundreds of people died because everybody was trying to go out the way they came in. I mean, there were windows all around the club. A chair could have broken out the window. You know, it was just so many different avenues, but we are so wired to go out where we came in. And so a lot of people, they were trampling over each other, but I found several nightclubs. One was in Rhode Island. I want to say this club was in Texas, and it wasn't that long ago, but it was a nightclub fire, and a lot of people died because they were trying to go out the same way they came in. So whenever I'm out and about, I mean, I think I'm just wired this way. I'm always looking for the exit. If I'm in a restaurant, I'm already planning my escape just in case something happens. And sometimes, he does that. You got to. You have to. I mean, it could, I guess, like make the trip or experience a little less enjoyable because you always got to be on edge. But unfortunately, those are the times that we are living in. So, I mean, you going out someplace, I mean, I'm already looking like, okay, something go down the hill. Okay, we're going this way. You know what I mean? Or I'm looking for something to get behind because sometimes you can't always get to the exit, but, you know, I'm ducking behind here. It's just, you have to have a plan. I mean, that's with anything that you do in life. You got to have a plan. But do y'all have a plan in place here? God forbid somebody come in here and want to show their behinds. What kind of plan do we have? Uh-huh.
You are basically the second step to us acquiring an action plan.
Explain what you just did, because he looked confused when you gave him the box.
Don't worry about that. So this presentation is going to be interactive. The more you talk, we got a lot of goodies gave away. So yeah, that's the mystery box. So yeah. So there's a lot of stuff here to go. T-shirts, bags, cups, whatever it is.
He's like, what's in this box? I'm just going to open it.
Right.
So,
But yes, you are the second step to us acquiring an action plan.
okay.
There has been discussion about things like where do we sit visitors, having one designated area so that visitor doesn't know they're sitting in a certain area, but certain individuals in the church knows, okay, those people over there are visitors. I'm gonna keep my eye on them.
Okay.
It's certain people that have, we probably need to revisit it and remind those people that they have been identified as EOCs in case of
What does that stand for?
point of contact.
Okay.
Point of
I
contact
thought
in
you said
case.
EOC. I'm sorry. You said
no.
POC. I got you.
Just certain individuals, such as Kareem Boykin, such as Kelvin Davis. You know, some people, Laurel Irvin, people who are aware of their surroundings, who could basically handle themselves and until we get things situated. But yes.
Okay. So when I was a school resource officer, when I came here almost 5 years ago, you know, we had the active shooter safety plans. You know, we got the fire drill plans, the hurricane plans, all that. But the active shooter plan was actually one of my favorite because I handled it. The school, they had different places that they were designated to have. Like the front office, they had a vault. If anything happens, y'all don't go out here. You need to go to this closet, you need to lock it, barricade it, what have you. The same thing with the teachers. They had a shade they would pull down over the window. If there was a bookshelf, if there was something to block the door, but the kids had to be quiet. And so this is something that we implemented with them every month. Every month in the school, we had an active shooter drill just to get everybody comfortable with it. You know what I mean? We announced it several times, and then we executed it. And we treated it as if it was the real thing. You know, so if I walk past Mr. Turner's class and I can hear little JJ and they're laughing, that was notated because it needs to be taken seriously. So that may be something that y'all need to look into as far as like designated places that God forbid something were to happen. Where y'all running? You know, we don't need everybody trying to be the hero. who's going to call the police? We don't need everybody calling the police. You're tying up lines. You know what I mean? These things need to be discussed and drilled if y'all can. We're not trying to, instill fear, but we in those times right now. So, Brian, you got anything as far as like a strategy, something that they can kind of be helped with?
Well, yeah, everything you say, you cover that in terms of having a protocol. Most churches that I've been to do active shooter drill, they have similar things you just mentioned, where they have designated area for visitors. And some churches now do have some of their congregants carry weapons, concealed carry, that they have on them. They're licensed to carry that. And they have those individuals posted at a strategic location within the church building. And they also have a very good response to any situation, be it how little or large. So that's something y'all want to look into as a church. Well, I was going to tell you on the personal safety thing here. A couple of things that we do, but we don't know we're doing them. One is be visible. And let me ask this question. How many of us know our neighbors? And when I say know your neighbors, like know your neighbors as in have you walked to their house before, have a conversation with them? Good. That is very important. It is key. Most people overlook that. Nowadays, we don't really communicate because, people tend to think everyone else is not like me. So because of that, I try to keep the distance. When the holiday season comes around, how many of us buy these lavish gifts for our kids or, Amazon shopping and stuff, and then we leave the boxes right on the curb, right? You get a 100-inch TV, you're so excited, you open it up, and you throw that box right there. Yeah. What you're doing, you're literally inviting the bad guy to come to your house. Because people walk around, and the recon, they will come in, scout the area, look and see what's going on, see who got what, or sometimes, exactly, they do that. They will post as selling services. Hey, I got these services going on. And look, if you, for any reason, someone knock on your door and they're there to sell you anything, and you are not expecting any visitor, your first intuition will be not to open that door and call 911. I gave you this. I think this incident happened last year somewhere in Chicago where the lady goes to the door, knocks on the door. It was two incidents that I got from, it was on YouTube. Not YouTube or TikTok. Knock on the door, and then she was in distress. Actually, she was in distress. Kept knocking the door like, hey, someone is chasing me. Can you open the door? Can you open the door? Not knowing, as she's knocking the door, there's already 4 gentlemen at the side of the corner of the house, waiting to bomb rush that person to open that door. So she's knocking the door, and the man and wife is in the house. The wife gets up. She's going down to go see who it is. And the man was like, don't open that door. So he comes downstairs, turn all the lights out in the house, turn everything off, comes downstairs, go to the side of the door, open the curtain to look, to see who's there. So he looked, and he sees the lady. As he turns his head, he sees the 4 gentlemen waiting there. And then he tells his wife, tell her that you will call the cops to come and assist her. So the moment his wife told her that, hey, we're going to call the police to come and assist you, she was like, oh, no, it's okay. The next thing you know, the car came to go in the van and took off. Yes, these are the times we're living in. The other one was a DoorDash order. And the guy went to the house and said, hey, I brought your pizza. And the lady was like, orderly, she was like, I didn't order no pizza. And he was like, well, you ordered the pizza, you come and get it. She said, well, if I order, just leave it at the door. He was like, no, man, proposal said we can't leave it at the door. She was like, you know what? It's 10 p.m. at night. I don't want no pizza. You can keep it. I'm going to give it to you. So just things like that. You got to be very mindful of. Travel safety. When you're traveling, going out of town, don't post while you're away. People be like, hey, look where I'm at. All right. Yeah. Yeah, look where I'm at. It's, oh, we having fun down here. I'm going to be here for 4 days. Oh, 4 days. Okay, cool. Right. I'll see you on Thursday. Okay, well, I got 3 more days to make sure I break into the house right there and get what I need to get. Okay? And know your area. Like I said with the neighbor stuff, know people in your area, know what's in your area, know what's not supposed to be in your area, and just form your own community watch group.
All right, burglary prevention. Make the call. You see something suspicious? Call. Let us come out. Let us clear the call. You just say, hey, Deb, do y'all have community meetings with your neighborhoods? Okay. And so, are you with the city of Columbia or what agent? Richland County? Okay, who's your cat deputy? You know? How's it look? White guy, Korean guy, Hispanic guy? Reyes.
Broad River Road?
It would be Reyes, right? Or Mo? Does he look somewhat Hispanic? White guy? It might be Reyes. Yeah, Reyes would be out there because, Mo has a very deep accent, so you would know. But anyway, so whenever we have our community meetings, we always let people know, listen, like Deputy Brown said, know your cars. Like with my street that I live on, I know Miss Jackson, she just bought a new gray Honda. If I see something over there, that might be her son. But if you just have to know who lives in your neighborhood. Miss Johnson across the street, her son drives a Jeep. She has a Kia Sorento. If I see anything out of ordinary, you better believe I'm calling Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson, hey, I got a black Impala out there, you know? You know what I mean? So if you see something, say something. We're not going to be upset if we come out there responding to a suspicious call and it's nothing. We would much rather, just show that presence. Evacuate your home. So trimming trees, just don't have the house looking abandoned. That invites squatters. We've been having a really big squatter issue lately, but just make your yard look like something. Just kind of take pride in your house. Trim the trees, the bushes, the hedges around your home. Sweep the driveway, clean up. But it just invites squatters, and people start looking at you when they're thinking that it's an abandoned house, and they can try to come and set up shop there. So get an alarm. I'm really a big stickler for the Ring doorbell cameras, the ADTs, the motion sensor lights. They are very, very, they've been helping us out with a lot of crimes. Most of the time when we got these young kids that are pulling on doors and their light comes on, they typically run because they think that they've been exposed. So I'm always a big advocate for the spotlights. The brighter the better. And locking car doors as well. And not leaving firearms. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going off. But light your yard. So we were talking about the floodlights and the motion sensors. Being selective, cautious of who you allow in your home. I'm sure we have experienced or know somebody who's experienced like having company. Maybe a friend came over and he brought some friends. Can y'all hear me? Yeah, I'm loud. I don't even know my phone. It's online. Okay. I'm sure everybody has experienced or know someone who has experienced, maybe inviting a cousin over, and the cousin probably brought somebody, and you're like, why you brought them to my house? And God forbid your house get broken into. I don't play them kind of games. Don't bring nobody to my house that I don't know. I didn't invite. I rarely have people at my house anyway, but just be selective about who you bring inside your home. People are just scoping out. They're like, oh, there's a TV over here. They're looking the same way. We were talking about just knowing your surroundings. They know their surroundings as well, and they're planning to come back, and they're planning to take your stuff. Make smart posts. So like Deputy Brown said, don't post about vacations. I'll be back next Thursday, so that person knows they got a window in which they can come and break into your home. Using your resources, your cat rep, special property checks. So we actually do perform special property checks. We'll perform them up to 10 days. So if you call the sheriff's department and you say, hey, I'm going to Hawaii, I'll be gone for 7 days, do y'all mind just kind of, circulating and just making sure that the property is okay? We do that for free. You've done that before? Mm-hmm. Stole the fuel. They ciphered it out of the, oh. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah. 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 Special instructions?
For
Yeah.
me, yeah, it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he was just saying that he had an issue with somebody siphoning gas out of one of his trucks, and then he called Danny Brown, which is one of our captains out in Region 7, and he was able to send somebody out and just do a walkthrough of the property. So, yeah, so if you go out of town and you just need us to just drive by, you can put the hours, you can put, is there an alarm system, something goes off, is there a key holder, is there a password, just whatever special instructions you may have. We do that, no cost to you. It's no problem.
On the issue of being selective of who you invite in your home, now, if you don't know this, in South Carolina, if you invite me into your home and I spend the night and another night and maybe a week and I have clothes and stuff over there and
I live there.
I start getting meals over there, that's residence for me. Now you have to go through the court system to get me evicted. You can't just call us and be like, hey, I want him out. Once that person can establish that they have established residence there, i.e. proving that they have clothes, a meal, or something they've received at that location, they have established residence. So that was one of the reasons why we tell people, be very selective who you invite in your home. And also this, you got grandkids, you got kids. Now, yeah, your kids go to school and you buy them that new PlayStation. What number we on now? I don't know. What PlayStation?
5 or 6, I think we on PlayStation.
It's like every year we got new
6.
numbers, so
Yeah.
I'm not keeping track of the numbers no more. PlayStation, whatever number they have out there. But anyway, you buy it for your son, right? He goes to school and tell little John, like, hey man, look what my mom got me. Come over the weekend, we can play. Okay, cool. He comes home, plays the game. Little Johnny goes back to his house, and he's telling his mom what, your son got, what you got your son. And don't forget now, the older brother is listening, or whoever is in that area is listening, and thinking that, oh, well, if he's going there, maybe I can use that as a way to enter the house and see if I can get that. Here's the thing. Nobody will ever break into a house without knowing the layout of the house. They might have been in that house. They might have visited that location. They might have scout and recount that area, know your routine, know when you're coming, know when you're going out, what route you bring. So these are some of the things you got to take into consideration when you are moving out of your house. Make sure, don't keep the same routine over and over. Change it up. If you come through the driveway the first day, if you have a back driveway, come through the back driveway. If your car is parked outside maybe 2 days, put it in the garage. Change it, just change it up. Just keep people guessing about your routine, not for them to know, okay, I know she's going to be exactly at 6:15, and 6:15 you're right there.
Yeah.
So that gave me a lot of time from there, from whatever time to 6:15 to do what I want to do. So those are some of the stuff just to be mindful of. Robbery prevention. So this is what we're talking about, being a situation awareness, knowing where you're at most of the time. This is what people do most of the time. You find people doing. What do you see when you see people walking nowadays?
Head in the phone. Mm-hmm.
Some people be walking into traffic, just like this, texting, or this, talking, and not to say anything, but for females, you have expensive bag on, and you're on the phone with a serious conversation. You're not paying attention to that. What's the couch maker or whatever, Louis Vuitton bag you got on your shoulder, and you're walking around with, right? You're on that conversation, just going at it, and you just like, it's easy for someone to just take what they want to take from you. We go to the store. What do we do when we go to the store? When we get to the register ready to pay, we open our whole purse and let people see that we got X amount of cards in there with the extra cash we got hanging there. Yeah, we'll pay for this. You don't know who's behind you that is watching what you're doing.
Wait a minute, before you get off the purse situation.
Yeah.
Purses in the buggies. Purses in the buggies. I wish y'all knew how many calls we respond to around the holidays. I mean, and a few throughout the year, but especially around the holidays with people are taking your purses out of the buggy. You leaving the purse in the buggy, and you turn around to get the can of beans, and you turn around, and you don't even know your purse is gone until you get to the register.
Right.
So
Yes.
now, she's like, yeah. I just keep it on me. I mean, I'm not a really big purse girl, but I enjoy like a nice sling bag or, like a book bag or something. But I just feel like if it's on me, it's just a little, I mean, you touch me, then we got a problem. But sometimes we're turned around for an extended period of time, but.
I think she got something.
Don't leave it in the cart, ma'am. Just 10-4. 10-4, yes, ma'am.
And if I'm going somewhere that I don't really know anybody, I do have my CWP, so
Okay.
and it's like this,
Okay.
and I'm walking.
Not you on ready.
I always walk.
Okay.
One hand ready.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I hate that we
ATM
live in
machines.
those times, but
Yes, sir.
yeah. She ain't by nothing. She talk. Hold on, what you got, sir? Yeah, ready.
No, like a lot of times you, in a park and go to a mall or something, you see somebody get out of the car and put stuff into the trunk of the car. Put it in the trunk of the car before you get to where you're going. Because once you go inside the store, it could be two people out there, one with a cell phone that follow you through the store, and the other guy's popping the hood of your trunk.
We had a bolo that came out maybe about 2-3 months ago in Myrtle Beach. And it was a Walmart parking lot. There was an elderly lady. She was walking to the car. She just put her groceries, put a purse in the car. There was a guy, he pulled up on her, and he was just asking her directions. And this is when she was walking back, to the little buggy cart parker thingy, you know what I mean, where you plug the buggies at. She's over there. So while she's over there giving him directions, his partner's over there. He done took her phone, the wallet, everything. I mean, it's just extra steps that we have to do now. You put things in the car, close the door, lock the car, take the buggy across. It's just 2 more steps that she could have done in order to not become a victim. But
So distraction is the key. It's easy for people to distract you. And people can distract you when they read you and they see what you're doing.
yeah,
You're there with your phone talking. You're distracted. You got so many things. Someone asking you, hey, what is the time? You're doing this to look and looking back up. That's a lot of time for someone to, if you're male and you're walking at night, you got it flashy stuff on the bling bling and all that stuff. You're walking down. Hey man, what's the time? By the time you do this and you look up, you might wake up at Richland Memorial Hospital and wonder what happened to you. Because by the time you're doing it and looking up, it's lights out. They've done what they need to do and they're taking whatever they've gone. And most of the region too, we've seen where people have been robbed like that. Like the guy, I was walking down the street and I got robbed by this person. Now, I can't really give a description, but they'll give a clothing description, hiding all that stuff. And sometimes they don't even know who robbed them. So it's just the distraction thing, and that's one of the biggest things with our society today is just distraction. There's so many stuff around distraction, and we don't pay attention to what's going on around us. So robbery is anyone can do that. Anyone evil can go and commit a robbery. What they want to do is they're just going to look, observe, scan the area, see who is the most vulnerable person they can go after. And that's what we have to be very vigilant and keep our eyes open. If you go into the ATM machine, yes, that's a no-no. If you must go to the ATM machine, get there. Whoever you make sure you're talking to someone on the phone, get to the machine. Don't put your car in park. Keep the gear in drive, and keep your foot on that brake, getting ready to accelerate if someone comes up to that car. If you're at the ATM and you see someone coming, hey, man, I got a question, that's not a place for you to ask me questions. No, sorry, I'm going. And if they try to put their hands on the window, oops, put it in drive and whatever happens, right? Because that's not a place for you to ask me questions. At nighttime, when I'm trying to get money from the ATM, like, hey, I got a question, I'm lost. No, we're not having that discussion. Sorry. Wow. So yes, be very mindful and be very careful when you're out there. Yes, ma'am.
And also, like if you go into a gas station, I don't go to the gas station after dark without somebody with me. I just think that's a bad thing to do. But what would you say, and I wish my son was here, we have an 18-year-old who thinks he knows everything now.
They
We
all
try
do.
to brief him about safety, and he just started driving, so, you know, he's got his little freedom sometimes. But we try to tell him too, hey, there are just still some things that you need to look out for, and
Right.
people see you driving this nice car and you're
Right.
18, and unfortunately you're a young black man, and people are going to try
That's
you,
right.
but he just doesn't get that. So thank you for having this this session. I wish you guys would come back and talk to our young
Just
folks.
send the invite. We come back. We love this.
I have an 18-year-old son who is just like your son. You know when they're 18, they think they know it all? My son is like, he thinks he's like the smartest human being on earth. And when we have conversation, you know, he goes back and starts to, you know, try to have a little bit of argument. And I just say two things to him. One, I'm your dad. And two, if you go out there and make a mistake, trust me, I'll be the one taking you to jail. So that alone scares him. When you think about it, he'll be like, whoa. I'll be like, don't worry about it. I'll be the one coming there and putting handcuffs on you and taking you to jail. But you're right. Our teenagers today, you know, a lot of them are so involved into social media and the cell phones and online, the people they're meeting or who they're talking to, they don't even know these people. And so because they want to be so part of like, I want to belong to something, and I want to be part of something, and because of that, they get, you know, they go astray. And it's also parenting. No. I mean, at this day and age, I say this, a parent has to be your parent. You have to. It doesn't matter what they, look, next Wednesday I'll be 42 years old. My mom, when she calls me and she's talking, the moment I say a slight word, the first thing that comes up, oh, you're grown now, huh? And that's it. She's like, oh, you think you're grown now, huh? I'm like, no, ma'am. I'm sorry. I won't say any words. So, you know, that's parenting. That's what you know, that authority that was, or fear that was instilled in me. And my mom, when we're talking, I can't to look her in the eyes. I can't. Like when we're talking, I will break eye contact from her. It's just one of the fear I have for her. Is like it's just amazing.
Fear, yeah. But I don't think the kids these days, they don't have the same fear we had when we were young. They ain't scared no more.
I have pats, spoons, throwing at me, shoes, everything throwing at me.
They
So I
ain't
know.
scared no more.
I know the feeling.
Nope.
And I let my kid know, you know, we're not your friends.
Yeah.
The one thing you have to do, you don't have a job. Your job is to go to school
Right.
and to do the things that we ask you to do.
But saying one thing and doing is another. You know what I mean? We could.
Who wants it?
What we got?
Okay.
A
Go
question?
ahead.
Yeah, just saying and doing are two different things. You know, I could say things to you, but if I'm not following through with the things that I'm saying, that's why they're not taking it seriously. And that's a whole nother session that we could have as far as like parenting. But my daughter's down at college now. She's down at Aiken. And, you know, just all the things that I instilled in her before she got here, because I've been in law enforcement about 12 years. So, you know, she knows. And so I don't have to, you know, I'm kind of like reaping the benefits of being that parent, that no parent. And so now she's down there and she's handling her business. And we good. What you got, ma'am?
Yes, I was just asking, since you all are here, what safety do y'all see that Wesley needs? We have our ushers that's in the back. We have one gentleman usually there in the back. So, I mean, giving us maybe some idea of what should be a little bit more safety for Wesley.
Okay. Well, let me ask this, and anyone can answer it. Your ushers, how many ushers do you have?
We have two on Sunday. We just have two.
Two on Sundays?
One on one day.
Do you have
Oh, three on Sunday, okay.
Do you have cameras outside?
Yeah.
Okay, so you watch cameras. Do you have a designated person that's watching those cameras when you're having service? You?
And the ushers, there's a flat screen up there, a tablet. We actually have a tablet, and they can access every camera on the property.
All right. Is there a communication between the ushers outside and you and him and everyone else?
Well, there's a security guard.
So you
that is
do
on the
hire
property.
armed security personnel?
Absolutely, they're outside right now.
All right. Well, I mean, do you have any radios, like, as far as, if something should happen, that?
No, we don't have any radios in here communicating.
So communications will be, like I said, most of the churches I've been to, communications is one of the things very important. Their ushers have little earpiece, and whoever, so I'll give you an example. St. Hills Church, they have so many ushers, and they have people roving around the complex, and they all have earpieces in them. So if something's happening at the west side of the building, they can go, hey, I got this going on here, and they advise everyone else so they know how to move about. So I would say invest in that. That's what, yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was about to say, we do have walkie-talkies, but I don't think they're active. I know it's one in my classroom, but I know we stopped using those after COVID once children's time moved from the next door building to now being in service.
I think you might want to invest into, like you said, walkie-talkie, because you do have children school, and you have nursery here as well. So yeah, everyone, all of those sections or department has to have some form of communication with your ushers out there, so, and knows what's going on. So yes. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
Sometimes it's students, and sometimes it's the homeless, or just different people. Just different people come through the space between the sanctuary and the Gaston building.
Yeah.
There was one occasion where a gentleman came through, and he had questioned that he was, as I was getting out of my car. So, I mean, at a certain distance, I asked him to stop.
Right.
And talk from there, and he did. But I was still in a position where I could either get back in my car or run if necessary. But if they keep walking, then you need to get out of the way.
So your church, I mean, this is a church, and the thing about that is, if you, like I said, knowing your environment is very important. If you know certain people who are not supposed to be here, but then again, it's like, they have to come to church, but, and you see someone who is out of position, that is something that you might have your ushers handle, or your armed security person that is working to handle that situation. Now, if there are armed security guards on the property, there she is. Like I said, that she has a communication. She can, whoever is the head usher, she can let him know, or he or she can let him know that this is what the situation I have. Go ahead and activate 911.
And the captain contacted me, I think this might have been 2 weeks ago. We did have an incident outside where there was a homeless guy, and in this stairwell down here,
right,
like, he did the absolute most. He had sleeping bags down there, and just being frankly honest with you, he had a gallon jug that he had been urinating in, and that was down there, and the list goes on and on. He had so many items down there that he had a hurby-curby to take it away. So the guard spoke with him. He even said that he was diabetic. She offered her meal to him. He got rude. She contacted me, and I asked her to trespass him. Anybody being rude, that's showing signs of aggression.
Right.
They can't be around here. That's
Absolutely.
not what we're about.
Absolutely.
So we did trespass him.
Okay.
So there's an order against him.
Yeah, absolutely. If someone's on this property and they're not here to worship and fellowship with the congregation, and they're just here to distract and create unsafe environment, yeah, by all means, trespass, get the law involved. That is nothing is wrong with that at all. Absolutely, because you leave your home and you come to the sanctuary to come and seek the presence of the Lord. So if you're here, your full attention is needed, and you don't need to have someone out there creating a practice out there to distract everybody because for whatever reason it is. So yes, sir, absolutely. If someone's out here and they're misbehaving, call 911.
Thank you. I just want to say, for the instance of going back to what you were saying, me as children's coordinator here at Wesley, and being a long-time member here, I think for a fact we do need to go through active shooter training.
Right.
because I know trustees, I know ushers are very familiar with our flow of worship, but there's times when I'm sitting in the congregation and I'm not paying attention because I'm looking what's going on. So that particular day that Mr. Clarence is talking about, my cousin who's actually with CPD, I remember him storming out, and I was like, immediately, like, what's wrong?
Right.
Because his stance alone was like, either he was not too fond of what was being discussed in the message, which it was our aunt passing, that or something was going on outside of the building. And when he didn't respond, I wanted to get up and see what was going on because I am also certified. I have, my license for shooter protection. So I just wanted to know how I could help. So you're not the only ones who are like trying to make sure that everybody's in here safety, but most of our congregation are older members, and they can't get up as fast as I can to see what's going on. But also we have members who may have altered mental status, who also need to be protected as too, because we had members kind of walking the main street here. So there's a lot that needs to be trained as far as our congregation. So if we can get that done, the quicker the better, so that we can.
We do
kinda
offer
move
active
forward.
shooter training. You just send it, like Deputy Washington said, you send an email to the sheriff, and we can come by here and do an active shooter presentation. If you want an active shooter actually training, we can have that arranged with our training department, and they can, assist you with that. But honestly, yes, there's a whole lot that needs to go into place in terms of security. You got to have a SOPs or your protocols on what to do and what not to do in case of a situation. And also, like her, you have people who are in the, congregation who are certified CWP personnel. You identify those personnel, and you can post them at, like I said, a specific location within the church. Yes, ma'am.
I do agree, certainly more training is needed, but I don't know that everybody is aware that Wesley actually has a safety plan. We developed it a few years ago. One of the things in our plan is that no backpacks. If someone comes in with a backpack, we don't know them if they're not a member. They have to leave it in the back.
Okay.
If they're not willing to leave it in the back, then, they're welcome to visit with us online and worship with us online. But we do have a whole safety plan. I think we just need to make sure that everybody knows what the plan is so we can improve on the plan. But we have one.
Yeah, you got.
I'm co-chair of Outreach here, and we go out every month and we feed the homeless. What advice would you have for us ladies who go out? Because we do go out we take gentlemen with us.
Okay.
And if we have to actually go to that person, it's always at least in a pair. So what else do you think we could do as far as safety?
I'm a big fan of distance. I am. In law enforcement, we always talk about reactionary gaps. I don't really get too close to people. That just gives you that response time. You know what I mean? To even respond or run. So the homeless is, that population can be aggressive, just like Mr. Clarence said. We fed the homeless last Christmas, and we were giving out coats, and just the attitudes, just the aggressiveness. So if you feel like there's somebody who is exhibiting that type of behavior, just move on to the next person. Yeah, that too. And then and I always, like, when I speak to people, I always say when we were in school, we knew who had, I guess, like psychological issues, who had the behavior issues, because they kept them on one hallway. We smelled the popcorn coming from the hallway. We wanted some popcorn. And we were over here. But when we're out here in the world, you don't know who was in the class with the popcorn. Everybody is just like mixed in with each other. So you always have to come correct, when you're talking to people. You just can't talk to people if you don't know what somebody's carrying, number one. But when you're out there with the homeless and you feel uneasy about something, trust yourself, first of all, because you're a woman and you have the intuition. So if something feels off, just go ahead and just abort the mission. But you got your firearm. You can protect yourself against somebody who is, trying to harm you. But also brush up on your laws as far as what the difference between self-defense and something that's not self-defense, something that can get you, you know what I mean, in some trouble. So when we're carrying firearms and we're talking about personal safety, like make sure you're brushing up on your laws with that. But I'm a stickler for, you know, protecting yourself if somebody's coming at you in that way. But distance and carrying something, protect yourself.
But if you're going out with the men of the church,
Yeah.
I would say utilize them in that
Yeah.
situation.
We do. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
we usually pair up,
Right.
and we always go to somewhere that we deem is a safe space, so
Right.
everybody
Right.
can see.
Where do y'all normally go?
Well, lately we've been going to the library because they're all in the library, and you know they've gotten to the point where they know my truck.
Yeah.
And they know that if I go upstairs to get one person, everybody's coming downstairs. But there's always a team
Right.
of people.
Good.
And there's always somebody watching. And we don't just walk up. We ask, you know, hey, how are you doing? Would you like, you
Is
know,
it
a
okay?
love bag,
Right.
or would you like some lunch, or,
Right.
you know, stuff
And
like
also,
that.
if, to add to that, in the future, the sheriff's department, the CAT team, that's one of the things we're here for. So if you guys have events like that, that you're going to, you know, feed the homeless, you can send a letter to the sheriff and be like, hey, we'd like the community action team to be part of it. There you go. You have a security presence. So we're there with you. You're doing what you're doing, and you're safe.
Just now by having somebody aware of what's going
Yeah.
on, I'm usually that one.
Okay.
You know, because, you know, once you start getting into the giving,
Yeah,
and you stop thinking about
Right.
who
Yeah.
coming up. I'm always that one like, you been here, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they'll go to, you know, like my wife or
Yeah.
another lady named Yolanda that's doing it with her, and they'll get a bag from her,
And
and
then
they'll
try to
go
go get-
off,
And get
and
it
then
back.
they'll
Go get
come
another
back.
bag, yeah.
Yep, so I'm like, didn't
You
you?
been here.
Or they ask for one of their friends, bring your friend. So I'm usually that one that, you know, I don't let nothing slide.
You out there like,
I'm like, you know, I'm starting back to work out, so I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
wasn't you here? Right, yeah, so move on.
yeah, you need that. You need order and structure. Structure.
We're going to move on to one of the things that everyone's aware of, firearm, gun safety. And so the sheriff's department, the sheriff came up with this motto, SMART, where, you know, talking about securing your firearms and just having a responsible behavior about guns. If you go in people's homes and you're visiting, you know, sometimes this conversation is very uncomfortable, but you might want to ask, is there only unsecure weapons in this house? Or something you might want to know about?
Especially if you got kids. You know,
Exactly.
Kids are,
I know you all been reading the news. You've heard about some of the incidents involving 12-year-old mistakenly shooting another 15-year-old and 16-year-old. Yeah, it's just because we grown-ups are not being responsible for our weapons and our firearms in our home. And then SMART spread the word. So guns now, and with the new gun law that is in South Carolina that says that everyone now 18 and above can have a weapon.
with no training, no training.
Yeah.
No
it's
training.
Constitutional carry. You are legal to have a weapon with you walking down the street, and unless the businesses or any of those businesses have the sign that says no weapon. Now, they can't come on church premises, they can't come into church with it unless the congregation have approved that person. What are they, hospitals, government buildings, police stations, schools, you can't go there. But if you think of it, I mean, yeah, where do we spend most of our time? Grocery stores, out and about, right? And those are where a lot of people are. So people are just walking around with guns and they're not trained. Some of them are not trained and they just have guns on them. She and I, we deal with it every day. We stop people, and some of these young people, 18, 19, 20, they got like guns on the seat, guns in the back.
Yeah, they don't even have a place that they have to secure them anymore. You know, it used to be the glove compartment or
Yeah.
the console. It can be on the seat when I pull you over.
So that law,
I can ask
yeah,
you about
the
it,
law
yeah.
says that they can have it. So it's gun on the seat, gun in the back. I remember I pulled a gentleman over and he had a long rifle in the back of his car and a handgun, 2 handguns in the front seat. I mean, the law says that's his right? But you got to think of it. We as law enforcement, we're approaching that vehicle and we're seeing that, then we are on high alert now. We're like way up here. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to make sure we go home and you go home. You know, and people wonder why sometimes, you know, our posture, our communications, because of things like that. If I walk to a car and I see gun, my whole demeanor is going to change. Now, I have to give you firm, you know, respectful, firm directives. And if you're not going to comply, then I got to make sure that I'm safe and you safe. So that's one of the things is, and most parents, I won't say most parents, but some parents just don't pay attention or smart. They just leave that weapon everywhere. Leave guns in the car and go to bed. Now, actually, if you leave the gun in the car, what use of it? I mean, it's no useful to you. If someone break into your house, why are you going to tell them, hey, hold on 1 minute, let me run outside and grab my gun and I'll be back and we can start. we can start something. Yeah. You know, there's a slogan at the sheriff department that says, the car is not your holster. The car is not your holster. Don't leave your weapon in the car because, and the sad thing, when people leave their gun in there and they don't lock their cars, that's a gun just waiting to be picked up and used somewhere else in the street, right? So.
And that's what they're looking for. So when you got these teenagers that's 2, 3 o'clock in the morning pulling on car doors, they're not looking for cigarettes. They look for firearms. And you'd be surprised the number of firearms that they actually get a week out of these. I wish we could charge the car owners that leave them a lot and leave firearms, but unfortunately we can't. But you know, for just like negligence. But I mean, it's not against the law to leave the firearm in the car. But now we got a gun on the streets, and you know, it's being used for bad. So.
And the thing I try to tell people, look at it this way: you were leaving that gun in the car, unsecure, car is unlocked. Whoever picks up that gun can use it against your family and your friends. You could wake up the next day and be like, hey, Jojo just got shot down the street. And you know he's your first, second, third cousin. Now, you're going to get straight now. Just think about that conscience that's going to be on you, that burden. Like, oh my goodness, I should have secured my weapon. But no, you left it right in the car. People take guns for, I don't know what people take that thing to be, but people just think that it's like a toy. It is not a toy. It is not a toy. That thing will, like the sheriff always says, it'll put you 2 places, jail or the cemetery. There's only 2 places it can take you.
Let me chime in for a second, Brian.
Yep.
So, because we are human and we talk about distractions and, you know, we all mess up, we all fall short. If you just so happen to leave it in there, you know, maybe you went in the house, you thought you was coming back out, you didn't do it. Make sure if you do own a firearm that you do have your serial numbers. A lot of times when we're getting these reports of these stolen firearms, we don't even have the serial number. So if we get out with somebody and we find a gun on them, first thing we do is we're going to run that serial number. And our system, the CAD in our car, would tell us if the firearm has been reported stolen. It'll tell us the county, the state, wherever. It'll tell us who the owner is, and we contact the owner. But if you don't have your information and the gun is being used out here to commit crimes, I mean, we don't even know that it's stolen. So that individual can't even be charged with possession of a stolen firearm because you didn't have your information. So if you do have a firearm or anything of value, laptops, whatever has a serial number, make sure you got them written down somewhere, a picture of them somewhere. That's very important.
And so these stats were published in 2023 from the Department of Justice, and this is just some of the deaths caused by firearm, 19,632. The entire country. Now look at this one right here. I know it's in blue, I apologize for that. Number of teens ages 12 to 17 killed by gun. Killed 690. Injured 1,839. The age 12 to 17, these are babies right here. Babies. And 690 got killed. 1,839 got injured. Now that injury right there could be life-threatening injuries that they're never going to be the same again. The 690, that future leader's going down the drain. And so we try to tell people, gun is no joke. It's not a toy to play with. It's just not. I got 2 sons, and I always tell them the thing. I teach them gun safety. And they know it, And they know what to do, what not to do, and all that stuff. I drill in their head and I tell them, look, if you pull that trigger and that round comes out, you have to account for that round and whatever it does. And if you pull a gun and you point at somebody, you better make sure you're doing what you're about to do, because if you're done, they're going to return fire to you. That gun I put up there, that's a BB gun. I think it was 2020 or 2021. 14-year-old was walking down the street. He had a gun tucked in his waistband. And one of the neighbors saw him and knew his parents and called us. When I got there, he was walking with that weapon tucked in his waistband. Young black man walking down the street with a gun like that.
It looks real, too.
So I approached him, asked him why he had it. He was there because he got bullied at school, so he felt the need to have that on him. And I asked him, I said, that is not real. You know that, right? Now, if you walk up to someone with that, they don't have the time to decide if it's real or not. And you point that at anybody, yeah, they're going to do what it is to protect themselves. So, it's on everybody, the church, the community, the parents, everybody. We have to get involved in the discussion about gun violence and try to have it, so. All right. We got any questions at all for? Yes, sir.
Do you still have like a lot of, I guess, I know you got cameras in certain areas, but what would qualify for a community or a neighborhood to have a request to have like a camera or something set in the entryway to their?
That would be something that if you have a HOA and a watch group, y'all can reach out. Most of there are private cameras called the shady cameras. Yeah. You can reach out to that company that owns that and have them install it. But it has to be something with an HOA that you guys will have to work out in your own communities to have that installed.
And do all regions, do they have newsletters? Because I know we get one from Reyes.
Yeah, so every region have a newsletter to send out to the president of the HOA association, that watch group, and that person would disseminate that information to the rest of the community. So yes. Any other questions? Well, we really appreciate your time. I don't know how to give out these gifts, so I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it with the pastor.
Hey, you gonna throw it back on him?
I'm gonna let him.
Oh, you're not the pastor. Who's the pastor?
Oh, my wife's the pastor.
Oh, your wife's the pastor?
Oh, well then you are the pastor then, sir. You are the pastor. I'm gonna leave it right here with you, and you can figure out how to share. Well, the glasses I gave you, let me tell you now, those glasses are very expensive. So they are very expensive.
Which one's the shades?
Yeah. They are very expensive though. So be very careful though.
And I see that we have a lot of elderly people here, and we love y'all. I love my grandma.
So we got some flyers here for internet safety for kids. So we'll leave it right here.
Brian, I wanted to tell them about the scams that we got going on.
Go ahead.
And the target is always the elderly community, but it's tax time, so the IRS text messages saying that your refund is due and all that kind of stuff, or click this link. Don't click the links. That is a scam that's going on. We got a toll scam as well, like when you had a toll scam. And it's really convincible. I mean, it's really convincing because, tolls are like $6, but they don't want the $6. They just want you to click on the link, and then they're just going to take over your phone. So don't click the links. Yeah, they take over your whole phone.
Washington, give me them bags.
No, don't click.
They don't want to answer no questions. All they want to do is put the information.
Yeah. Yep. Don't click the link. If you got questions about it, you're unsure, just go ahead and call the IRS and say, hey, I got a text from you guys. Is this y'all? It's probably not. All right, y'all.
All right, well, thank you for having us. And